I never had a lot of good teachers. I only had one really good teacher when I was a kid, and I really wanted to go back and give to the kids the things that I never got.
Do you have any role models?
Role models, I would say, would be my one high school English teacher. She was an English teacher. It was my one high school English teacher, and she was my role model because she treated me like an adult. She didn't treat me like a kid, and that was the first adult who ever really treated me like an adult, and that really meant a lot to me, that she treated me like an adult, and that made me want to be like her.
What is your educational background?
I have all the way up to a master's. So when you become a teacher, you get I got my bachelor's degree in history, my bachelor's degree in English, then I got a single subject teaching credential, which means I can teach English, and then I got my master's in education.
What course you're teaching?
Pretty much what I had just told you. To be a teacher, so to be an English teacher, you would need to have your bachelor's degree in English, and then you take another year where you would you get your teaching credential. So once you have those two things, then you become a teacher in the classroom.
What does your typical day as a teacher consist of?
Anything and everything. Sometimes you're breaking up a fight. Sometimes you have people crying. Sometimes you get to teach. Sometimes you are trying to go to the computer lab. You're trying to get kids in the lab. There is so many things that can do. And I hate to say it right now, but it's very, very stressful and difficult to be a teacher right now, especially with everything changing to Common Core. It's not an easy thing right now. There was another teacher that was telling me today that there was some kid in her class that had been in trouble and was suspended out of class for 3 days, and got to go on a field trip, and so just things like that where, wow. And another one was saying that another teacher had told me that another kid had gotten in trouble. She called home and the parents said, my kid is not going to do detention. He's not going to do detention in the morning, and he is not going to clean up doing detention. So when you're having to deal with difficult parents, that's making it very hard.
What are your benefits from being a teacher?
It's teaching. It's students like you coming back and seeing me and thinking about me. I have kids that probably go up into their 30s, and that's the best thing, is when they come back and say, I learned so much from you, thank you. I helped, my gosh, I was in college and you helped me with this. You helped me with this, thank you. You've really showed me a lot of things. That's really nice when they come back, but that doesn't happen for several years, unfortunately. It takes a little time before it comes back.
How do you structure your time to manage all of the duties associated with teaching?
I have to work at night. I always have to work at night. So I always make sure, for me, some people don't go home until about 5 o'clock. I usually do all of my errands, do whatever I need to do between 3, 5-ish, something like that. And then I go home, and quiet time is grading papers. I can do copies and planning. You can do all of that here. But as far as grading, I realize that I'm going to have to take quiet time at night, and so I make sure that I grade every night from about 6 to 8, and then that helps me keep up with my work. It's too hard. I never understand teachers who are able to grade at school. It's just too difficult.
What is your philosophy of education?
I have a great quote that somebody told me once. You prepare the child for the path, not the path for the child. See what I mean? So you prepare the child for the path. You don't prepare the path for the child.
How do you motivate your students to become active learners in your classroom?
It's very difficult. If their parents aren't on our side, it's a very difficult thing. If they come from parents that don't have an education or don't care about education or think that their kid is right no matter what, that's going to be a very difficult thing. So that will be a difficult thing for you. So I try to just tell them about college. I try to get them ready and tell them that they're going to need this, and try to give stories, like here's what I had to go through. So hopefully you'll not make those mistakes, those kind of things. You know what I used to tell you guys, to do a career that you love. That's my main thing. I would say make sure that you are doing a career that you love. No matter what it is, don't ever chase the money. Chase what the career is. Because funny enough, when you go for a career, something that you really like a lot, the money just somehow kind of goes along with it.